All right. This is Bevan Bird with Judy Bernard. It's an on kind of off the cuff soul to soul talk, because see, I talked about, I think I made a post with my mission in it. Start with why, right? I was doing that, and 5 people said they wanted to help, because it was like, do you want to help with this mission? Let me know, right? Judy's one of those people. So then we scheduled this talk. We're doing that now, but we figured we'd record it too, so that more people can benefit from it than just us, right? Because we might share an idea that you could use too. Thanks for doing that with me. Okay, so then I mentioned just before this, I was talking with Anita Narayan, who's making inspiration the norm. She's creating an inspirational platform because she, in her own life, experienced tragedy and then turned it into inspiration, and then inspired other people and helped them connect to their soul just naturally, just by being herself, sharing her story. And she has a message about inspiration, right? And that you can share your experience and that and how that relates to how you now help people, and people will really connect with that, right? And that's like it's a big part of how we inspire people. And so she and I are going to interview each other, and we were just preparing our content for those. And then yeah, please share what you mentioned after that about, see, because the reason she's creating that is because of a lot of negative news. So we need to create a platform about inspiration to make it the norm, so that people don't live a mediocre or normal or average life. They can live an amazing life. Yeah.
Well, so when you were mentioning that to me, it just inspired me so much about where I live here in Nashville, Tennessee, and we have a lot of neighborhood groups on Facebook. And to me, it's a little bit different because I've never really been involved in as many, but it's really fun. They're very inspiring. We have 3 or 4 here that are you always post the positive. They don't let the negative, they will take those posts down. And it's really, there is so much good out in the world that just doesn't get noticed. And I think this is one of the great ways that you can notice and give kudos to people who help you, like somebody's son got a flat tire and somebody pulled over and helped him change his tire. And so his mother wrote a big letter saying, thank you, whoever you are. I just really appreciate you stopping and helping my son. And then other things like, if you need something and somebody has it, they're happy to give it to you. Or
the neighborhood coming together and helping each other.
Yeah.
Right.
And so it's really fun to see that, because everybody's so busy, we can't do it the old-fashioned way where we actually walk and talk to each other while we're outside because everybody's busy. But now through Facebook groups, we're able to still create that community, that neighborhood feeling, even though we can't necessarily be home as much as we used to be. So I think that's really positive in helping people find the good and not pay so much attention to the bad.
Oh yeah, I've noticed that here. I'm in Playa Chicala, Nayarit, Mexico, and in this town there's a group for it, and it's like that too. It's really, really awesome, the community. It's a small, I think there's only a few hundred people that live in this town, but yeah, it's amazing what happens with that group.
Yeah.
Oh, and then another thing is what we can do is look for the best in other people, because often the negative news doesn't do that, right? And so it's conditioning people. Like Anita was mentioning, like education and the media can condition people, right? And so she has found that inspiration breaks through that and wakes people up, which is why she's doing it.
Yes. Well, and if you think about, we're all vibrational beings. I'm a vibrational coach and sound healer, so I'm always looking at things from a vibrational perspective. And when we tap into someone's highest vibration, it naturally raises their vibration up. So when you see the best in people, then that actually literally lifts them up energetically. Then if you can inspire them, or even find laughter. Laughter is a huge vibrational uplift.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Even just smiling, but laughter is even better. Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And so keeping those in our consciousness when we're out there in the world, and know that literally a smile can change someone's day.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I put that in a little statement here. Like, my major desire in life is a whole and balanced life, thriving in joy, love, and abundance with laughter in my soul, right? So it's like always going around with an attitude of laughter.
Yes.
Everything
Yeah.
can be funny. It depends how you look at it, especially if you take mushrooms. Like in the summer, for the first time we took mushrooms together, me and my dad. He told me stories of him first taking them. It was probably 40 years ago, like 1974 in Costa Rica, I think, for the first time. So he told me all the stories, which made, I don't know, it's like legends, right? Because it's so long ago. And then I tried them with my friends in high school, right? But we never had this together. And in the summer we did that one Saturday, and then we took a week off, and then the next Saturday. And
Wow.
the first one we recorded a little bit of it. The second one we recorded way more of it. Once it hit, it was like hard to say anything without laughing.
Right.
So everything was hilarious. Yeah, we had a great time.
Yep.
And
Hey,
he told a lot of stories and stuff, and so then I've got more stories to share with people. See, because I've positioned him in a way of like he's got these travel tales that he tells, right, of his travels through, this area, Mexico and Costa Rica and things, warm tropical places. And I put on there a tagline like "Laugh your way through life," right? And then I'm like, okay, now I really get it, because we put that on there, and this was before, right? I was working with his stories and recording more of them and getting them online, and then and I'm like, yeah, this is what he likes to do: help people laugh at their situation, or just like, so it inspires them and that their mood is higher. And then I'm like, oh, now I get it. Now I see what it's like to laugh your way through life, because that's what we were doing. We couldn't do anything except laugh.
Right. Yeah, I found in sometimes the worst situations, like the travel mix-ups and being lost and all of that, it's not always funny at that moment, but later it can be really funny. And I used to do a lot of online dating before I met my beloved, and even the worst online datings made for the funniest stories afterwards.
Yeah.
So I would say it was never a waste, because then I just got a funny story to tell.
Absolutely. Yeah, and that's what we realized too that day. We're like, it's how you look at it. It's when you tell it as a story, it becomes funny. And then maybe that means we could even do it at the time or that day, because it's just changing how you look at it.
Yep. Yeah.
I love that you have the gongs, and like that you do vibrational healing with sound. That's so powerful. And what I was inspired to do is a collaboration. Do you think you could check your calendar about tomorrow? If there's which time zone are you in?
I'm in Central, so I'm an hour off from you.
Oh yeah, because I'm Mountain. So it goes Pacific, then Mountain, then Central, right?
Yep.
Okay.
So I'm an hour ahead.
Okay, so at noon, at 12 to 1, do you think you might be able to be free to
Let me look. Yes, tomorrow I can be free.
Okay, great. Yeah, so at that time we're doing a purpose and gifts show. Oh yeah, I think you liked the post about that, actually.
I did.
Yeah, you were the only one to like it, or the first one. And I continued to do more posts about it, and someone said, count me in. So it looks like we might have someone. I think we should get more, because, sometimes people have something come up or they're not able to, right? So if there's multiple, then it's more likely to at least have someone that we can help, right? Because we want to attract someone who feels a lack of purpose, and we want to help them get more on purpose and valuing themselves. So that's the mission of that call, and to do it together, not just one person and not just two people, but like if we can have more of us work together and do it, it'd be really amazing. That's an experiment.
Yeah, that would be fun. Yeah.
All right.
Definitely. I kind of, with working with some of my clients, I will play the singing bowls and stuff and kind of get into that heart space, and then start to help them. It's like once they go into the heart space, then they can start to like kind of feel their gifts bubbling up in a sense. And with more people asking questions and stuff, it will pull them out. It's like they rediscover their gifts. That's kind of how I work with it. But it's beautiful. It is, because I believe everybody on the planet has a gift to give. And It's just finding a way to be of service and give that gift.
Mm-hmm.
And over the
Absolutely.
years,
Sometimes we can't see it ourselves or see what our gifts are, but that's what I want this to do, is so that we can value those people and position them on purpose, like help them use their gifts and share them with the world, and help that person become more abundant and like more integrated with a community.
right. And some people, I mean, what I've noticed, and even in myself, I don't always know my gifts that I bring to the table. Like I'll just show up and people are like, oh, we're so happy you're here. It's like, okay. It's like you don't know exactly what you bring, and it's part of it's your energy of who you are. And when you learn to value that and accept that, then it actually magnifies, and then you have a greater reach when you're really doing nothing. It's just your vibration attracts everybody and shifts things.
Yeah, and just be yourself. That's really powerful, just to be yourself, just being like okay with being yourself. Because even just doing that, I think there's a Mariam Williamson quote about that. Like it's giving other people permission to shine their light too.
Exactly. And that's why I really believe working in groups and working together in this partnership that you're so really good at doing, is bringing people together, is important, because it's not a solo. It's an inside job, changing and bringing out our gifts, but it's a group thing that kind of highlights it.
Awesome. I'm excited that you're collaborating with us there tomorrow. Thank you. So then I guess I should either answer your question that you asked before, which led to me going, hey, maybe we should record this, because that will be more value for more people. Or you could also, if you want to invite me to collaborate in something, go ahead. Whatever. So or ask that question again if you want.
Well, I just wanted to hear more about your purpose and what your dream was in that. And right now I'm still building my business online. What I've realized over the last 2 years trying to do the business online, I'm really good at building a brick and mortar kind of thing where I'm actually in contact with everyday people. And it's expanding that to the internet realm, the online realm. And I'm doing okay at it, just not growing. Part of it is I've been taking a lot of time and working on myself, but it also isn't just growing quite as fast as I wish. So down the road, I would love to partner with you more. And I'll just take a rain check on that. How's that?
All right. Okay. Sounds good. Okay.
So yeah, tell me more about your passion, your vision that you saw that inspired you to make that post.
Okay. I'm gonna bring up the documents that I've been preparing, because I'm getting ready to do this interview, like Anita interviewing me and me interviewing her. So we were just preparing this. So we could say like a major thing I want people to know is answer the question, what is your soul's purpose, right? And then do that, and you'll be fulfilled. And a lot of the emptiness and suffering in the world is from not knowing your purpose, and also not doing it, right? Being afraid to do it. So I'm creating a world where work is joy and comes from love, for that's what we're all made of. And also I accelerate positive impact through soul-centered collaborations. And to know who I collaborate with, they have to go through a criteria, like that they're serving humanity. And well, that's basically it. Like if they're in business, they do it soulfully. Okay. So how did I get to this thing? I guess I will tell you that little story, which I think gives you a little more info than what was in the post. And then I will tell you about some things that are important to me and values, right? And then I'll say like, okay, here's where I'm at along the lines of those things, right? Like so far. So it's to be honest with where I'm at. I'm in the process of doing something and making my life into the ideal life that I want it to be. And then I would share a story about nature. Okay. That's a new thing, and it's also good and inspiring, and taps into who I am too, because it's a natural thing I do, is spend a lot of time in nature and get inspiration from it. And then I want to encourage other people to do that too. And it's part of who I am, right? And I've been in nature a lot. So that one is pretty important too. So yeah, that's how I'll share it with you. Okay.
Cool.
So, so this is a story about me. I've sold my soul before. I've worked just for the money, out of alignment with my values of health and joyful living. I've also done something I loved, following my excitement and using my natural gifts. I felt creative, enthusiastic, and productive all day. It's completely different. I believe that we're all made of love, and it's our birthright to be well, free, and abundant. So I've made it my mission to inspire humanity to be free, abundant, and united. Imagine for a moment a world where no one has to sell their soul to survive, where we all use our gifts and we do what we love. We live with dignity, loved and respected for being who we truly are. This world is possible. So then I could say that there is, see, now I can tell you a bit about how I do what I do. Like that kind of tells you why, but I can answer any other questions you have. We'll go into that after, I guess. Then we go into how, and then I tell you what I actually do, right? That's what they teach. That's what Simon Sinek teaches in Start With Why. This is the way to communicate as a leader and inspire people to action. Why, how, and then what you do. And the why is your reason, and that's like your sole purpose or mission, right? And how is your values, which and principles, which you always live by, right, or operate by. And then the what is like what you do and the results of it for clients, and it's like the evidence of your cause. So how is I'm soul centered. I work intuitively with joy and a namaste attitude, which means, right, the light in me honors the light in you. I'm gentle and kind, and I always keep a steady peace of mind. Okay, so then we move into what, right? I love to accelerate positive impact through soul-centered collaboration among those who share this same optimistic view or vision of all of us being our highest selves, right? Then I put in a call to action, like, for example, will you help me make this happen, right? That's what you responded to. The little text and with, will you help me make this happen? I'd love to talk with you, or please let me know, or something, or leave a comment. And so that was that one. And I use this for for introducing myself and helping people get to know me, like in my masterminds, for example. So it's pretty new, and that's where it came from, was reading Start With Why by Simon Sinek and applying it like a workbook as I went through.
Cool. That's very insightful. I like that.
All right. So do you have any other questions then on like the backstory? Because you're saying, why do I want to create this world, right? So if you have any more questions about my actual backstory that led to it, let me know, because I've got tons of words about it, but like I need your question to to focus it, because otherwise it'll take hours, literally hours to tell it, because it all just depends what part you want to focus on.
Right. Okay. Well, well, you said that you had maybe a little bit about like how your life was when you were basically had sold your soul, and how did you find your soul through that? When a lot of times I know for a lot of my clients, they're so busy on the hamster wheel that it's really challenging to get off that hamster wheel or take a few minutes and say, wow, this isn't working. Like they need to get off the wheel a little bit. How did you make that change and that transition for yourself? Or that awareness, how did it get dropped in?
Oh yeah, very insightful question. Thank you. I'm honored that you asked me that. Well, I wrote about this in this book, Your Shift Matters. And so my story is called Aimless to Purposeful. I would say that in 2009, in the fall of 2009, while surveying around Banff and Lake Louise, I noticed that I could do more. I could do something more inspiring than working as a surveyor. And then I went rock climbing. I did something I just wanted to do rather than what other people would think is a smart idea. So basically, regardless of what other people thought about it. So that's kind of a leadership thing. So I just went and did the thing I wanted to do. I made this movie while I went rock climbing, September 27th, 2009. So there's kind of a key thing. And then that winter, I had 5 months off. I didn't know how long it would be, right? But it was like the seasonal layoff thing because we can't do a highway construction in the winter because the ground's frozen. So I have this time off from surveying. And this was the first year that I had the winter off because normally I was at school going to BCIT, an institute, right? Technical thing. So that was for surveying. And then I got out of that, like with 4 years of it, in the summer, or like June 2009. So then I've been working in surveying since 2005, right? And in the summer I would work, and in the winter I'd go to school. So then this was the first time I saw that the job was seasonal. You can see why, because before I always had something to do.
Right.
So now for the first time in 5 years, I had time off. And then I was like, what am I going to do with it? But also I thought, what should I do to supplement my income? Because this turns out to not be a steady job. Before I thought it was a steady job, right? So then I got into the internet because I read 2 books, like one on Facebook and one on Google. But then just recently I've listened to one through Audible, which is called The Four. The Four by Scott Galloway. Because this is the hidden DNA of Amazon, Apple, Facebook, and Google. So those are the 4, the most influential companies. They're kind of racing to be a $1 trillion company.
Right.
The first $1 trillion company. And also like, he calls them the 4 horsemen, and like what makes them a horseman, and is there going to be a 5th, and who might that be, and stuff like that, right? And also what can we learn from them, right? What can we learn from that to use in business? Understand business today as well, because it's changed so much when you look at those massive scaled companies, and what can we learn from that, and how can we like have this secure financial situation for our family, right? So anyway, but that's a new book, that's this year. So back then I read one called The Accidental Billionaires, which is about Facebook, and The Google Story, which was about starting Google. So those are the two biggest trafficked websites online. Then I'm like, oh, there's lots of opportunity online, right? So I should get into that. And I did. And then I realized that I wanted to inspire people. So this takes us into the spring of 2010. And then when I went back to surveying, then I noticed I really didn't like it, because now I'd had 5 months off. For the first time, I actually had some time off and took a break. And looked around, and there's other things I could do, and there's things that were more exciting and interesting, and I knew it'd be more fulfilling for me. I could use my gifts, and it's just more interesting, right? And kind of like expansive. So that's why I then quit surveying in June, like after about a month. I think it was a month of being in it. So on June 1st, I quit, and then I had to learn entrepreneurship pretty quickly. It didn't work quick enough. So I had, by the end of running out of my credit that I had access to, it was about $20,000, like about 11,000 or so on a credit card, and $10,000 credit line with the bank. So that's what my maximum was. And then I would either become homeless or live with my family, right? So I went and lived with my dad. He gave me a place to live. And I stayed with him for 1.5 years. And then I got back into the market after that and got paid way more than I did before. I got back into surveying. I wasn't trying to get back into surveying though. I positioned myself based on a unique combination of my skills, which was software and surveying. This made me more valuable because it's a combination. It's more rare and more valuable, which I learned from a book called The $100 Startup by Chris Guillebeau. So I used that. And also networking, right? Like building relationships with people, because in the first surveying company that I worked at, it's like if you treat people well and they really like you, then you can work with them. It's about like how you work with people, because then, you know, the managers won't pair you with someone if you can't work well together, right? And so it dictates who you'll end up working together on projects in the future. So anyway, getting along with people and like bonding or being friends, right? So anyway, I was deciding to create this custom software for surveyors business, right? And I put $100 an hour for consulting, right? And I'll create custom software for you. And so I reached out to my network of surveyors I'd work with or other contacts in the industry, I guess peers, right? Like from going to BCIT and all that. So I thought of all the people I'd worked with at that first company and reached out to them. And one of them, all I had done with this one is send them a friend request. There was no message or anything, but there was an email that I was sending out to people, and I used that $100 startup, like the same format from that. Anyway, with him, it was just a friend request. And then he happened to be working somewhere, and they needed someone like me. So he's working on this big project, and like it's $1 billion project. It's one of Western Canada's major projects. And so then I just applied to do that with them.
Cool.
So then I got paid over $100,000 that year. That was cool.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, and there's a whole story to this. Like in the I don't know if I told it in the vision training. I've told it somewhere else though, like in the free Do What You Love site. I talked about this because it's pretty important to share that story of how I went from like crashing and being in a whole bunch of debt and then feeling really bad about it, and then to going, oh, you know what, I don't have to feel bad about it, right? And shifting that, and then kind of like climbing out of it and then skyrocketing, right? Where I don't think I'd ever made more than like 30,000 in a year before this, but then I decided to make $100,000 that year, and then that opportunity came, and I'm like, okay, I'll do that, and it worked. Yeah.
Cool. Mm-hmm. Very cool.
I don't know if I've answered your question though. So because you're saying how, so see, for me it was partly luck because I had those 5 months off, right? So that was part of it. That time, taking the time to take a break from your everyday grind and go into nature and just look deep into nature, like Einstein said, and you'll understand everything better. So I encourage people to do that. Like you take a break from the everyday grind and like leave everything behind. So like don't bring your phone with you. You can bring paper and a pencil or pen, right? But just don't bring technology because it can distract you. Maybe not even a book, right? Although you can do whatever you want, like to have fun, but it's good to just go into nature and then look deep into it. Like say you go somewhere, you hike, and then you can see the ocean, and then you just watch the waves coming in, that kind of thing, or like the birds are flying around, or there's like, you know, kind of a structure to the whole flock of birds, and like circling, you know, you just look at stuff in nature and wonder about it.
Right. Yeah, no, that's what I have found too for myself, my friends, and that is it's finding that time to take that break. And a lot of people, even when they go on vacation, they're still attached. I'm working with a real estate person here, and she's on vacation this week, and she's like, no, just text me if you find a house, I'll get you all. And it's like, no, you're on vacation, put that phone away, you know, but we're so attached to it to make things happen in a sense.
If you're always on, like always connected in that way, it's not connected because it's not connected to yourself. But if you think you're connected through the network to other people, then you're always also being distracted with the pings, dings. Like even like with us here, you know, when your machine dinged, it might be Facebook or something, or maybe that was email refreshing, that there was another email. But those dings that's what's distracting, right? It causes a fragmentation of our consciousness rather than just focusing and like, you know, like deep work. And like Sean Mize says, focus relentlessly without distraction. First, you figure out what is most important, and then schedule that and give it a time block, and don't do anything else in that time. Like be disciplined to not allow yourself to be distracted. It's even more important now because the artificial intelligence algorithms are becoming smarter and smarter and better at distracting us. So you have, like, you know, there's clickbait and things just get more and more optimized to attract your attention. the more if you interact with them, right, the more it will get optimized to attract, to interrupt you.
Right.
That's
Yeah,
why we
so
have to disconnect.
right. Well, and a lot of my clients too are women. So even when they go on vacation, they're not on vacation per se for themselves. They're on vacation to make sure their kids have a great time at Disneyland, or that their husband is doing whatever he needs to do, or their partner is doing whatever they need to do. And so they, even then, they don't really get the downtime or just an hour to disconnect and find themselves. It's like
You
they
have
need to
to
move
give yourself
out.
time.
Yeah.
Make time for yourself to, like, yeah, you're right. Definitely women, it's worse. It's the worst for women because they're putting so many other people ahead of themselves because they have lots of priorities, taking care of the family and the house because if you have a career or a business and you got the family and house and everything, it's a lot of stuff to deal with. Yeah.
Yeah. And so but I think everyone I've talked to that have been able to make this real authentic shift and now come more from their soul with what they're passionate about, almost every single person I've talked to, it's all about, you need that space. It's like you have to create a gap in your life to unearth it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Oh, good. Thanks for that feedback. Because I put that in my like formulas and stuff. And it's like the first step is disconnect, like take a break from the everyday grind, and yeah, it's like making that space. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can get into a receptive mode and allow inspiration to come to you.
Yeah. So that's fascinating that you also had that. And sometimes the universe is very generous. I always say the universe has always got our back, is very generous. We may not be open to the suggestions that it's pushing in our way, like getting laid off and realizing your job's not actually as reliable as you thought it was. But that created the gap for you to create something that is beautiful.
But there was only a seasonal layoff. It's not like not being an employee anymore or firing. It's just because of the seasons, right? Because it's like, well, that work doesn't work at this time of year. Yeah.
No, I get that, but that happens to other people in different ways. But it's like the universe creates that gap for them.
It sure was a good thing that it did that. Yeah. Because if I kept working and surveying through that winter, it would just be in different places where we could work. It wouldn't have been that specific project, right? It would be other ones, but then that would have kept me busy and I wouldn't have had that break.
Exactly.
Got to give yourself breaks.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, so what was I saying like that I would do after that? Because we've got the story. So I got why, how, and what. Okay, I guess what I'll do is say that like last year, I'll just tell the nature story because we'll just do it out of order, right? I'll tell the nature story. We were just saying get into nature, right? So I'll do this one, and then you'll see how in here I got sick last October or November, and then we could just go into that more deeply because that's another one of those kind of redirection things.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
My former career, I was an acupuncturist, and I saw that a lot in people. They'd get a chronic illness, and it would totally transform their lives, and many times for the better. Yeah.
Okay. Like my dad, I believe humans are a part of nature. When I was 4 years old, we spent the winter camping all over Mexico, and I totally loved it. Here I am in Mexico again.
Right.
2016, I started getting sick of the big city that I lived in, which is Vancouver, Canada, and I was diagnosed with pneumonia. I was sick in bed for at least a couple of weeks, and probably because of lack of exercise and maybe not the greatest diet and stress, financial stress. The rent was pretty high. I wasn't making a lot of money. The work wasn't very reliable. Okay, so I wanted to get closer to nature again, and I obviously wanted to get my health much better too. So I made a change and I quit my job. So this is the second time.
Wow.
The first one was in 2010. This is 2016 around November. So I quit my job and I let go of my apartment, moving my things into storage. And I flew on New Year's Eve to Puerto Vallarta. Like by that point, I was super excited, right? It was a lot of struggle to like package everything up right? And go through everything to filter it, throw stuff out and store it, and also deal with everything to simplify your life. And when you travel like this, like my friend Carl, who I met here in Chicala, he's a tour guide in Canada in the summers. Like he says, when you travel like this, where you spend 6 months of the year in Mexico, you get good at simplifying your life and dealing with stuff, like solving the problems and then leaving it all behind. But you've solved them, right? But you get more efficient at it. And so you don't waste so much time with things and you get a simpler life and you're just more free. So we both recommend it. So yeah, it was stressful to figure that out that time, but I did it, and I got to Puerto Vallarta like New Year's Eve for the party, and then I was there for about 4 days. The first two was in old Puerto Vallarta. The next two was in Nuevo Vallarta in a gated community inside a house, which I thought was the guy's house, but it was his family's vacation house. He has a yacht and a plane too. And he introduced me to someone that their house is beside like the little park, which in their community, which is like shared for all those houses, right? So there's this park there with the pool, and so across that pool, there's someone who has a plane brokering company, right? So I thought, actually, first I thought he said she rents planes, so I thought like she had planes. She doesn't own them, so she's a broker, right? So she has relationships with people like him who have the planes, and then connects you. So like he's rented a plane from her before. He said it was kind of expensive, but that was when his was in the shop, right? It had work to being done. He needed one, I guess, rented it from her. So it's all the relationships and trust she has. And he introduced me to her. So anyway, I spent 2 days there and had fun with them. And then they gave me a ride here on their way to where they actually live, more inland.
Okay. So are you more in the mountains then, like going out in Nuevo?
Here? Well, no, I'm right by the ocean.
Okay.
It's just I'm just more north from Puerto Vallarta.
Okay.
A couple hours. Yeah.
Right.
Little secluded beach. Anyway, that's what it says next in the story. So I spent the next 5.5 months here in Mexico, in this peaceful, beautiful beach town, swimming, hiking, bodyboarding almost every day. And instead of being 26 floors up and surrounded by traffic noise, I could now walk out of my back door, down the steps, and feel the grass with my bare feet. It's right there. And from here, I can see the jungle up close, and also, of course, from the balcony. Like on the balcony, I shot a video while I was here in that first period of time there, talking about how purpose can inspire your whole life. And in that, I told the story about like connecting with my purpose and then being, inspired from inside with that. That was in the fall of 2014. It's a different story, which we will get into some other time, because when Anita interviews me, it's going to be in there. We were just planning it. I can answer any questions you have. I'm just telling you this story. This one's about nature. This is why I encourage people to go into nature, right? And it's for your health and happiness and creativity and stuff like that. So yeah, so that was great. And so yeah, the jungle's there, and it's just a 10-minute walk to the beach, and it has the softest feeling sand around. It's really great. And it's a perfect bay for swimming too.
Nice.
Yeah, but not for surfing. But I can do some bodyboarding. Just, they're not surf waves. It's not like for that. When I returned to Canada, I stayed with my dad for the summer, camping on his land. So I was even closer to nature than I was living here in this little house. And there's something special about sleeping in a hammock under the stars, surrounded by fir trees and boulders. And now I'm back in Mexico for the winter again. I'm very glad that I made this change. I'm healthier too. Nature is inspiring. Its vibration is perfect. It's peaceful, and it helps us become more resourceful, creative, and intelligent. You see, too many of us have become addicted to technological distraction. That's why I encourage people to get out into nature more often, cease the mental chatter, and receive immense inspiration.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Your thoughts?
Yeah, no, nature definitely is key, is getting out and seeing, and just even if you can't get out, I'm really blessed here as I have a a big screen door with a sliding glass door, and all the squirrels come and play on the patio all day with my cat. And so just being, even though I'm working on the computer, I get to look out at all these little squirrels having fun and chasing each other. And just that connection to nature has changed the way I feel about working. I'm not a big computer person. I had a 20-year practice where I actually interacted with people all day long, treating them and such. And so it's been a big change to be more on the computer, and the computer has never been it's not my thing. And so adding the nature back in by being able to be close to it, or it's really humid here a lot of the time, but when it's not so humid, you can open the patio door and it's like you can hear them talk to each other, and it's made a big difference in how it feels to sit here on the computer.
Oh yeah, I can see that. That's great. And I take lots of breaks and get out there in nature. Like if I get uninspired, then there's no point in me just sitting here and slogging away. It's because it really matters like how you feel while you're doing what you do. It'll change the results of it. So I rather do stuff that I believe in and that I actually enjoy and love to do.
Yeah.
So I'm on a journey of doing that, right? And shifting things. Oh yeah, so we can go into that part of it.
Yeah.
So like these are some things that I care about most. So that's kind of like values, right? Freedom is a value which is great, and also being with the people that I love and being myself, being free, doing what I love, and using my gifts and making a positive difference in people's lives, and increasing the joy in the world, increasing the peace, and also the feeling of fulfillment. So being with the people I love, that I haven't figured that out yet, although I am with them sometimes, right? Like in the summer with my dad, spending the whole summer with him, or most of it, that was great, right? And I mean, that was one of the reasons that I got out of surveying too in the first place, because of needing to travel for work a lot, and then you can't be at home with your family, right? So I saw what that does to families, so I wanted something better, something that I would choose. So I'm still working on it, but the key thing I'm working on is doing what I love and getting paid for that. So I made a group called that, right, to help other people do it, which is do what you love and make a great living at it, right? But it's also based on being free and being yourself and doing what you love and making a great living at it. Yeah. Thanks for joining that group, by the way.
Yeah, no, it's a great group. Definitely.
I want to make it better, but anyway, you can see that that's the motivation there is that you can really be yourself, right, and be rewarded for that, because I believe that that's what we should all do.
Absolutely. Yep. And it's part of the journey, I think, for many of us is reconnecting back to ourselves. All kind of got lost in the hubbub.
And you're helping people do that too, right?
Yes. Yep. That's what I help people learn.
That's what your business is about, isn't it?
Yep. I coach people and help them get back in touch with who they are, so then the gifts can emerge, so then they can figure out a way to share their gifts. And sometimes in a new business, and other times it's volunteering, and they like like well enough what they're doing, or at least right now in their family and everything, it makes sense to stay, but they get a new appreciation for their job that they have, because through that work, it's always
that's
sometimes
important too, to see how what you're doing matters already.
Yeah. So that's what I help people unearth themselves, I guess. Yeah.
Okay. That's great. Well, I think the next thing we should do along those lines is do a soul-to-soul talk. Not this one right here. This one was on the fly. But I think we should schedule one, and I'll interview you in that one about what you do. And let's get to know who you are, why you do what you do, and what you do, and maybe share some stories of how you've helped people and how how it makes you feel, maybe. How does that sound? All right. Any other ideas there? Anything you would want to share in a talk like that? So it's kind of like an interview, right? It's a little online show.
Okay. No, I would love to share some of the things that I've been able to be witness to, that my clients have shifted, and my friends, and what really keeps me happy and the things I like. Right now, I'm also working on the how to be with my loved one who has a job that travels all the time. So I can relate to your idea of not wanting to do that traveling bit. So.
Oh yeah, especially
Yeah.
when you can't be with the people you love, like where it's separating you.
Yeah.
Because I believe in being together with them.
Yes.
And also, it's kind of the future of work, right? That we can do our work from anywhere. So it's up to us to create our life the way we want to. We can say, well, we want to live here or there or whatever. And what we do is what we love to do. And we use our gifts in it, right? So it's kind of like transitioning into that and also being with the people we love too. So I'm in the process of creating that, and I'm partway along it.
I'm working on creating that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Great. I look forward to helping you along that way any way I can.
Yeah, that sounds wonderful.
All right. Okay. Well, we'll schedule a soul to soul talk sometime.
Okay.
Okay.
That sounds great.
Okay. Awesome. Great. Okay. Is there anything else? I think we might have done everything there. Well, did you have any more questions?
No, I think I'm
Okay.
good. I really enjoyed this time. It was great getting to know you more. I really appreciate how helpful you are. Anytime I've ever had a question, you've given me lots of resources, and I really appreciate that.
All right. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. Well, then, if you still have a few minutes, then let's get to know you more then.
Okay.
And is there anything you want me to collaborate on? So I've invited you to collaborate. So yeah, however you want to use the time.
Okay. Well, like I said, I'm still kind of figuring my way out around, and so I'm sure there's ways to collaborate. I guess maybe I'm not clear enough on where I'm going to have that. It's all about focus and clarity, and then when you get the focus and clarity, then you can see how others fit in.
Yeah, totally. Like how with joint ventures, you can go like, who is complementary to what I do and who comes before that and who comes after it, right? And then you can create alliances with those.
Yeah, and I'm not quite there yet. So that's where I'm kind of working on developing that clarity.
Well, let's work on that in the Do What You Love group.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Perfect.
Yeah, because the whole point of that is help you move forward. That's what I want to do. Okay. Well, then let's just get to know you better.
Okay.
So why do you do what you do?
The reason I do what I do is partly to be of service. I knew I also got caught in corporate America. It was a little bit different than your story. I loved what I did for a really long time, and it was a very community service-based industry, but it was open 24 hours a day. And so I managed those stores for a long time. I did it for about 15 years. And as I got older, I just couldn't work 18 hours a day. I physically couldn't do it. And my body decided it needed more sleep. So I started to look at, they say, do what you love and the money will come. And so one of the things I loved was herbs. And I thought I always made people herbal teas to get rid of asthma or to help with allergies or to help you sleep. It was just kind of a hobby I did. And so I looked at being an herbalist. But at the time, the only way to be an herbalist was I'd either have to move back to Colorado, Colorado's great. I was living in Washington State. I liked Washington State better. Or I had to do an online class, which I'm not a computer person. So I had already tried correspondence classes and stuff when I was younger and knew if I didn't have to arrive somewhere, things didn't get done. So I decided to try acupuncture. And so I went back and became an acupuncturist because at the end of acupuncture school was an herbal program. But during the course of acupuncture, becoming an acupuncturist, which is a 3 to 4 years master's program, I ended up meeting the person who founded Accutonics, which is a sound healing system. And so then I fell in love with that. And I just find the vibrational medicine is exactly what people need. And it's overlaid over Chinese medicine. So we use that meridian blueprint, basically, of how our energy moves, whether you look at it from a chakras perspective or acupuncture meridian perspective. We learn both. And then we add the sound vibration in. So it's like your body recognizes it and go, whoa, And all the frequencies we use are based off of, we live on Earth and then the planets, and that have a mathematical relationship to us. So even though consciously we don't actually know we're feeling vibrations, our body knows we're feeling vibrations. Mm-hmm. And so once I learned that, then I kind of shifted over there and I became an instructor. It was kind of like my passion found me, because I didn't even know this existed when I started, you know.
But you followed what you love to do, and you followed your excitement through each of these steps.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And so then it found me. And then through the course of having a 20-year acupuncture.
And you took action, right? It wasn't just planning or thinking about stuff or learning. You took action.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I had to take action and get going, and trusting. I can tell you that a lot of times I wasn't ready, like financially ready to take some of the classes, but there they were. And
but you did it anyway. So you took the risk, right? Like invested in yourself.
Yep. Did the credit card thing to start businesses.
Right. Oh, wow. Yeah.
By the time I got everything up and running, I was not student loans, just in credit card debt, $57,000.
Wow. Yeah. That's pretty serious. Yeah.
And I'll still be paying on my student loans until I'm 73.
Wow.
So it was a big financial outlay, but I worked through and got all the debt paid off because my practice was pretty busy and all of that. And so now I'm at a point where I fell in love, and I'm shifting it to the next level, which I'd already started to shift my practice away from insurance and that, and more towards the spiritual. One of my gifts is I can see and sense when somebody's like getting close to their path. Like I can see, like if they're way far away, I can see it's like cold, but then they get closer and closer and closer, and then I can keep exploring with them and help them fine tune and drop into their path. And that's really exciting, because a lot of people have been able to shift, and like I said, then all of a sudden they know their passion and their mission, and it's a beautiful thing. Like you said, we all do our thing, then the world will be much, much different.
Yeah. I got really excited about it like a couple days ago, because in the fall of 2014, right after I tapped into purpose, like Sean Mize motivated me to do it, and his training right from the beginning said like, find your purpose, change the world. You got to know what your purpose is, and I did it. And then I created a position on purpose.com, but I hadn't built the website for a long time, probably 2 years or so. But it was very important to me, right? And so then a couple of days ago, I was super excited, because I'm like, yes, tomorrow I'm going to help someone get more aligned with their purpose, right? Because they asked me for that help, and then I was like, yeah, I'll talk with you for a half hour. I might be able to help, and I'll see, and then after that it may help, and then I'll introduce you to whoever I'm inspired to introduce you to, because I know a few people who can help with soul purpose, right? And that's because I was planning to do that for a long time. So I find all these different ways to connect with your soul purpose, because there's lots of ways, because we need a lot of people to do that, because there's so many people who need it, right? So I knew I wasn't going to do it myself. I was going to find all those people that do it and then partner with them. And then that website would be a central point, right? And people would come to it and then find their purpose and see who do they resonate with. And those people would help them find their purpose, right? And then you go on to like the positioning and profiting from it. Mm-hmm.
Very cool. Yeah, so that's what I've been doing here. I've been really enjoying using the sound, and I've had quite a few coaching clients now over the phone, being able to help them fine tune. And part of it is taking that break, getting people to realize that break, that gap is important, even if it's just a day.
Yeah.
And getting back into nature, like what you said, has been huge.
Yeah. Or just relaxing, because you got to take a break from the normal stuff. And then if you just lie on the beach and just relax, maybe read a book, or maybe just like have nothing and just be there with the sunshine or whatever, and swimming and and back and forth, because then you just get so relaxed to into a new place of abundance. Yep.
Exactly. And you start to feel it at a deep level, because we are that nature. We are nature, like you said before. And
I wanted to also say, because so with that guy, right? So Bruce Hughes responded to one of my posts. Like I put up there are two greatest days in your life: the day you're born and the day you find out why. Mark Twain, right? And then he responded to this, and he's like, it'd be great to know, to figure out why I'm on this crazy planet, and like I've tried all these kinds of things and stuff, right? So I'm like, I might be able to help. So we talked. That was yesterday, and so what's a great thing to do is whatever you want, whatever you're seeking. I learned this from, I think, Neil Donald Walsh. Go from a seeker to being the source of it for others, right? Because you are the source, you're one with source. We just forgot our connection, right? So then if you become you serve others, become the source of that thing for others, then you can't help. say you're putting like jam on toast, right, for other people, or like, or syrup on pancakes, right? Serving people. If you do that, you can't help but get some on yourself, right? So if you're the source of it, you're going to also benefit from it. And so I thought like, well, he wants to get closer to his purpose, and through us talking, he definitely got more inspired and all that. He said it was really great, and we're going to collaborate more. So I thought, here's a collaboration we can create right away. Let's offer what he was looking for. Let's offer that to other people, see who wants to come, and he and I will be there to help them. And now you're joining us, so it's going to be, that's why I wanted to tell you the story. So it's really cool. You can see how all of our gifts come together, and so we create a mastermind and help that person who comes. So it'll be first come, first serve, because we can't help a whole group of people, who can help one person. So if 5 sign up, whoever shows up, and like whoever's first, I guess, or whoever volunteers, right, then we're going to help that person. And so if there's other people who've showed up, then if they want to also help, they can help, because we have to focus on one case study, right? Like a hot seat. And so then collaboratively we'll help raise that person up, encourage them, find their gifts, and like how are they valuable, and they're going to value themselves more and get more of an insight into their purpose.
Right.
It's the purpose and shift, the purpose and gifts show. Yeah, it's gonna be cool.
Very cool. I like that.
I'll see if I can invite more people, like Linda, because Linda has a gift of getting a message, bringing a message through from that person's higher self, or highest self. So I'm going to see if we can bring more people together and do this mastermind of purpose and gifts for people, and we're doing it for free for the public. We can't help everyone at once, right? But it's someone who's lucky is going to get that. So that's the idea to start it.
Cool. Yeah. Well, one of the other thing is a lot of times who shows up, because I've done quite a bit of group healing, it's kind of amazing is like maybe you're only working with one person in the hot seat, but everybody who shows up is getting that vibration and getting those happening within them.
Totally.
And they might not need all of it, but they're going to need part of it. And it's either they already know what this person's challenges are, and they've walked through it, so they can hold that higher vibration. Like, you can get through this. I did
help that person raise up to it. Yeah. But then also from us all helping at the same time, we create a mastermind because we're all in a spirit of harmony. Like, we all believe the same thing. Let's help the person step more into their gifts and purpose, right? And so then through the mastermind, all of our minds are going to power up, so they go to a higher level. And then we'll feel that after too. We'll be at a higher vibration, like better mood, and we feel better about ourselves with having given, right? But also our brain just works better, and we'll have better quality ideas, even just going our own merry ways after.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, it's a win-win for everyone. That's exciting.
Awesome.
I look forward to doing that tomorrow. Yeah.
Oh, do you know anyone else are you inspired to, like, anyone else that you know would be a good fit to be in the group to help?
I don't know. I have to think. I can think of a couple people that I'd like to invite to the group to be perhaps in the hot seat, or just
please do.
To witness the one person I'm thinking about. I don't know if she'd be comfortable being in the hot seat. She could surprise me, but definitely her witnessing this, I think, would be really wonderful.
Yeah, people are welcome to watch along too.
Yeah. And I'll have to think. A lot of the people I think about aren't. Fridays are a big work day for a lot of healers, because people I'll work a 4-day work week, and they're off on Fridays, or they're off on Mondays. So most of my friends that I know would be really awesome to have with this. I know they work a lot on Fridays.
Oh, okay.
So they wouldn't be available. But I'll have to
Okay.
think on that. How do I know who's online that could do this?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a little bit of text about it, like which you could use to send to them. I made some posts. Yeah. Okay, so I'll send those to you.
Perfect. That'll be great.
Okay.
But I do have a couple people that I'm probably going to invite if they're available.
That's awesome. I love that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay, well, I will think of other people to invite too.
Cool. And how often do you plan on doing this? I know this is the first one, correct?
Yeah, I don't know, because this one was just a spontaneous idea, and so we're doing a test. We're just doing it because, like I wrote in the copy, we're not going to let another week go by, right? We're just going to do it now. So it was 2 days out, so it's Friday. Because we did this, we talked yesterday. Because we have a mastermind, like a soul-to-soul mastermind on the 21st. So I thought, like, for Bruce, like, that's a ways, because we just talked, but then that would be the next thing that we would do. So I was like, let's see if we can make something happen quicker, right? So we chose that on Friday. I don't know if we're doing it regularly, maybe every couple weeks or something. We got to see how it goes, and like, and we can talk about like how to improve it.
Yeah, I was just curious if you had. Sometimes I get like visions of how things are. It always changes, but what your vision was there. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I didn't get one. It was just is for a one-off thing to do in the first place. I did a purpose, like for a while, like I started this free call a while ago. It was because we did the paid one, right? Do What You Love group. Eventually I layered on a free call, which was Live with Soul. And then later it was Position on Purpose. It became the Position on Purpose show, right? And now I got the Soul to Soul talks. So then I do these things, right? So it's Soul to Soul talks and Soul to Soul masterminds. So this is the Purpose and Gifts show. I don't know exactly. I didn't get an idea of like how often it should be, right? It was just a test. Yeah. So this ties into Position on Purpose, and this is about people using their gifts and their purpose and prospering, because we can all do that. We can have a peaceful, purposeful, and prosperous world for everyone, for the whole planet, if we work together to help make it happen.
Yes, I agree. Cool. Well, it'll be fun to see the journey and how it unfolds, and I'm excited to be part of it. So thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Judy. All right. Well, anything else you want to share with people about yourself, or how to connect with you?
Right now, the best way is usually through Facebook to connect with me, and my name is Judy Bernard, and then in parentheses is Safia, which is my Sufi name. So that's the easiest way to find me is on Facebook at Judy Bernard Safia, and or my phone number, which is 253-593-4751. You can always call or text if you want more information about what I do, and I do mostly coaching over the phone. If you're in the Nashville area or come here, I guess it's a lot of people's bucket list to come to Nashville. I'm happy to meet with you, and I do sound healing sessions with the gongs and the tuning forks live. And yeah.
I look forward to experiencing those more. I know we were talking about it before. Yeah, look forward to doing that.
Yeah, I've gotten it so the singing bowls pretty much for the most part will come through with the speakers. I still have a hard time with the gongs. I haven't quite found the right mic. They have such a range of frequency, they turn to static a lot for people. The energy still comes through. It just isn't as pleasant to our ears.
Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah, you need a higher quality microphone. Yeah. Here, I'm going to show you one, I think. Okay. Here we go. Yeah, it's switching. Okay, so like this one, it's about $100. It's a Logitech C920, I think it's called.
Okay.
Because the cool thing with this is then your video, like right now I'm on the built-in webcam, but I think you could see before that my video was clearer, right?
Right.
Like how I looked. So that gives you a HD video, and it's got the microphones on it. So, and I think it's pretty high quality. It's
Okay.
probably not the same as like the podcasting microphones, but I think it's good enough though. I think this thing would work for making the gongs sound better.
Okay, I have a Yeti, I think is what I have.
Oh, okay.
Big
Oh,
Yeti that you use for podcasting. It doesn't have it doesn't condense the frequency as fast or as enough to do it. It'll work for the bulls, but it doesn't
oh,
like to
really?
work. My understanding, I've talked to some sound engineers a while back, and the mic I need runs about $15,000.
15,000?
Yeah.
Oh, you need something special for gongs.
Right. Or have somebody, a sound engineer there adjusting the whole time. So
Oh, I see.
I could get a lot more gongs for that. So I haven't done it, but I'm still on, technology is leaping, so I'm hoping that the next technology will be awesome for.
Yeah, okay. I'm probably wrong about this thing here.
But I do think I need something to make me clear because I'm kind of foggy.
Well, yeah, it'll make your video clearer.
Yeah.
Like that, because that Yeti thing should be high quality. But see, these mics are made for speaking, right? So like podcasting, so it's optimized for speech, but then it's not made for a gong.
Right. And the Yeti has different settings that I've been playing with. And one of my friend's husbands is a sound engineer. So he's researching some things for me. So hopefully something will come up with that.
All right. Awesome. Well, thanks a lot, Judy. I'll look forward to talking with you soon.
Yeah,
and seeing you on Zoom tomorrow. It'll be in the same room here.
The same room? And same, is it a different meeting code or it'll be the same?
The same.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah. I'm going to send you some info right away here.
All right. Thank you so much. And you have a wonderful day.
You're welcome. Thank you. You too. Bye-bye.